We're in the home stretch with the Activate Your Prosperous Life live stream series. Today's your second last live stream. But wherever you've been watching these, they have multiple live streams going back to January 2nd. So you can watch and follow the thread of this conversation that has been literally activating your prosperous life. If you have been paying attention to these live streams, there is high frequency codes, transmissions, wisdom, guidance, tips, and tools so that you can really manifest the life of your dreams this year and beyond. We're at the beginning of a 1 year of a whole new 9-year cycle. And I'm happy that I was guided to create this summit and call in like all my new best friends really into my life to create my most prosperous activated life and yours. So if you haven't registered for the summit, you still have time. Press the button in any of these streams to register. And then you'll start getting access to these interviews with these amazing people that I have been, in the company with for a long time. It feels like a long time. It's just been this month. So we're talking about going the extra mile. Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich inspired this live stream topic, and fostering a positive mental attitude, which goes hand in hand with going the extra mile. So Robert, you're right beside me. Tell me what you about yourself, tell the audience about you and what you know about going the extra mile. How do you do that?
Yes, I am Robert. I'm in the Netherlands right now. I basically help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome overwhelm, stress, exhaustion. And if they don't do anything about it, it will lead to a loss of their health, relationship, and their life. So I give them their life back. The problem is most of these high achievers don't recognize that there's a problem at hand because they believe that they thrive under pressure. So that's, basically what I do. Um, about today's topic, the extra mile. Um, Absolutely. And you know what? I'll just put it really plain and simple. When you are really living your passion, when you're really passionate about something, you're not going to be worried about the money and the this and the that and the, because you're so, taken by what you're doing that it is of no concern because you know all the energy you put into it comes back to you multiplied with many, many great gifts. In the Bible, it says, "This and more shall be given unto you." You can't even imagine the wealth and the beauty and the gifts that Spirit bestows on you. So, yes, go that extra mile. Absolutely. Make an effort.
Yeah, and I think it goes beyond effort as well. It's more like it's inside you already. There's something within you that wants to give more so that you can like share more of your gift, share more of your gift. Amy, tell us about your work and how you go the extra mile in your work.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amy Shade. I am the creator of the Radical Embodiment Method, and I help women really reconnect with their body so that we can go in there and do some energy work and help them shift into taking action, because oftentimes we think it's all mental, and we forget about the body. So I really help women get back into the body, get back into changing their thoughts, taking action with accountability and coaching. And so going the extra mile, I think about this, and of course I've done summits and all that, and going the extra mile really means you have to go outside of your comfort zone, actually. And you get to be a visionary. You get to find like new creative ways to create something. It is vulnerable in that you might have to raise your hand and say, I'm going to sign up for this thing. And I'm not sure if it's going to work or not because no one else is doing it. But I'm deciding to take that extra step. I'm deciding to go outside and think of that next creative idea. And so I think going the extra mile is very vulnerable step that takes a lot of courage, But visionaries, people who have a lot of ideas and visions, that's our natural state to want to go to the extra mile. So it's really tapping into the passion, tapping into our body, what might be keeping us stuck from taking action, so that we can go the extra mile and really create a beautiful creative life.
Yes, I totally agree. And it's all about going, taking those risks. You got to take those risks to activate that next step. And when you stay in the step that you're in, once you take the step, then the more gets revealed to you. Like it's like a interlocking doorway. Open one doorway, be there, it opens up another doorway, and then you can be there next. Linda, tell us more about your work and how you go the extra mile in your work.
Yes, thank you. I specialize in working with professionals who tend to be more highly sensitive, empathic, really sort of heart-centered, caring people, and I help them understand how they're being held back because of either their energy, their own beliefs, their conditioning, whatever's going on with them, or the energy that's around them. So I help them understand and master their energy so that they can thrive instead of just surviving, really. And going the extra mile, certainly in terms of, what comes naturally, it just comes naturally to me, I would say. I've been told many times, so in my coaching practice, for example, if I have a coaching client and we have a call today and then our next call is scheduled for 2 weeks, let's say, I always tell them that if something comes up and they need to talk it through, to reach out, and I don't care when it is, I will arrange to speak to them, to be there for them. And I've been told time and time again by coaches that people will take advantage of me for doing that I shouldn't do it. Nobody has ever taken advantage of it, quite the opposite, in fact. But I have had a couple of occasions where somebody has really needed that, and it's a blessing for me and for them that I have that policy that I can be there when they need me. I don't want to say, no, I'm sorry, your next session's not for 2 weeks, while they're having a sort of meltdown or whatever's coming up for them. I want to be there for them. So things like that, it's just something that I've always done. And it has caused, when people have told me I shouldn't do it, it has caused me to question myself sometimes, but it just feels right to me. And, like I said, nobody has ever taken advantage of me for doing that. They've never, if somebody was calling me every 5 minutes to talk to them, then, I might reconsider with that person, but nobody's ever done that. So it feels right to me to do that.
I'm totally with you. And I think that's one of the big gifts with working with the coaches and mentors and leaders in this summit is that's our specialty, is high touch. We are private mentors. We're here for you. And part of what you're paying for is access to us in different hours or different ways. Maybe we have Telegram portals or chat messaging, other ways that we can give you access to support when we're sleeping. There's other ways to help you. Something's coming to me from this book, The Psychology of Wealth, Napoleon Hill, who inspired this talk title. Well, there was a customer service guy at a department store and an old woman standing outside waiting for a ride. And he went beyond and asked her if she needed any help. And she said no, but he still brought her a chair to sit on while she waited to get picked up. And he didn't know who she was. And guess what? She was a multimillionaire. A multimillionaire connected to somebody in Scotland, Andrew Carnegie, the guy that got him to write the book, and, brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of work and got him promoted and even an owner of that department store. So the little things that we do can go a long way. And I think Mary Beth would have a good story about this too, because you help with sacred space and creating environments. How about going the extra mile in your work, and tell us about you?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Beth. I'm a home office expert, systems strategist, and international speaker. I'm excited to be here with all of you. Going the extra mile. So when we're looking at our space and how identifying and evaluating how it supports us, it's really important to tune in to how it's affecting you emotionally, physically, mentally. Is it supporting your ability to focus, to be healthy and well? Is it causing stress or creating anxiety? And it's funny because there are so many different levels that we can address within evaluating the space, and we can get deeper and deeper and deeper and more specific. And so just as you were saying, Jennifer, that when you're paying to work with one of us, you know, you're paying for that expertise, you're paying for that one-on-one, for that support, and you're paying to go deep. Why hire someone to help you if you don't want to? You know, it's like going to the doctor but not giving the full story, or the honest truth about what's actually happening in your life with a counselor. And so with the space, it's really important that we understand how we arrived here and where you want to go, and identifying what does that look like for you. And so I get really excited about looking at that and figuring out for each individual person, brand, their wants, their needs, their likes, their personal style. What does that look like for you? And then how can we curate that space so that it supports you as best as we can? A lot of people just do something surface level. And so going the extra mile, we get into the details. As an interior designer with that background, we get into the details. Where do you want this place? Where do you want that place? What about the artwork that's going to go here? And so there are so many different layers of looking at space and crafting the most optimal, the most prosperous space for you.
Totally amazing. Michelle, I jumped right over you. It's like I did a leapfrog there. Coming back to you, how about going the extra mile with your work? Because your work goes really deep.
It does. It does. I came up with a phrase the other day, and it's that your nervous system doesn't care what your business plan is. And so a lot of the work, and it sounds like Amy does similar work, right, is about the nervous system barrier to going that extra mile, whether that's showing up more visibly, if it's, following up with your clients, whatever it might be. The barrier can often be our own nervous system response, right? The resistance, the pulling back, the, oh my gosh, that's terrifying, I can't do that. And so, something that I've had to learn as someone who, I'm multi-passionate. I love a lot of things. I love learning. I have a million modalities under my belt. Like, I love that. But I really had to sit with, like, why am I doing that? Like, why am I learning all of these things? Like, what is that for me? And moving it from kind of this performance, perfectionism, like, I need to be the best in the room. You got to trust me because I have all of these degrees and all of these things behind me. And I had to move it into really being in service. And so, as many of you have spoken, like, our work is relationship. If we can't create relationship, we're not doing the work. Like, we're not here to hand you a worksheet. We're here to help you go inside and figure out what those things are, and how can you embody what you want to be, and what it will take in your nervous system to go that extra mile, to do the next thing. So my extra mile in my sessions is I literally pull from everything that I've learned over the years, but through that intuitive lens of the body that's in front of me, right? And to be in service to them, not in service to my own ego around, what I'm offering.
Yeah. I love how you said that. It is, many of us and high achievers, I mean, we're probably all recovering high achievers. But we like to learn. Okay. We're lifelong learners and we're interested in a lot of things. And that's how come we're multidimensional, multifaceted, and multi-passionate, is because and we're all like 40 and older, I think. Maybe Mary Beth isn't, but okay. But we have been around the block. We've done multiple careers. We probably started working when we were 12 or younger. and we've cultivated skills, and some of those skills layer on top of each other. And they all do come down to service. They do come down to service. And maybe you know this about yourself in the audience. Maybe you know that you're here to be of service, and you've been studying a lot of different modalities and you've been learning a lot of different skills, but you keep running into these money blocks. You keep not being able to do your purpose, and you're still in the job that you don't want to really do anymore, and you don't know how to get out of it. Well, that is a sign that the inner work needs to be attended to. And every single one of us on this call can help you with the inner work and the outer work, because we're entrepreneurs, we're business people. We know the tech side, we know the detail work, but we are really in depth with how the inner work connects to the outer reality manifesting that you desire. And I want to just invite you to the VIP Prosperity Room portal. It's right now at $67. After the summit, it's going up to $97, but you're going to get lifetime access to every one of these speakers' interviews, where you can go deep with who you really resonate with, and you're going to get access to their free gifts. Lots of their free gifts go to a free call with them. And then lots of them have VIP gifts that give you like strategies and tools how to grow what you're wanting to grow in your business, in your life, in your relationships. And so I invite you to activate that $67 button right now. That's a step you can take, and it's going the extra mile for yourself. It's going the extra mile for yourself. And then the next step of this conversation is fostering a positive mental attitude, because service and positive mental attitude, like why you're doing it, are extremely connected. You don't want to be going the extra mile and bitching and complaining about it too. You want to be doing it with gratitude, okay? Because there's always energies, especially now, we're all more sensitive to each other's energy than we actually realize. And so when you have a positive mental attitude and you're going the extra mile, it gets noticed. Robert, tell us what you think about this. Your talk is the hidden energy trap. And how can you get trapped in negativity and get in a loop?
That's easy.
Yeah.
That's so easy. I always, it reminds me of Carlos Santana, who says, I became this guitar player because I was never distracted. I only had my mind on music. And God, I wish I would have had that kind of focus in my life, because I constantly complain of being distracted, constantly, and it's so easy. I'm sort of a gopher. I'm good at everything and nothing. The only thing I can say that I'm really good at is fathering my son, and contributing to helping others grow. Because that's something that I really invested my time and all my money in, and it was well worth it. And never did I ever ask for a discount, ever, because I know what it was worth. I mean, guys out there, whoever's listening, I even got a VIP ticket because I want to learn from my peers. I will continue to learn until the last breath that I take. One thing I wanted to mention about Napoleon Hill, do you know his book, Outwitting the Devil?
I have heard of it. I have not read it yet.
I think that's his best book, actually. And he didn't even want to publish it because he was afraid that if he would come out with it, that people would completely discredit him because he's having a conversation with the devil. The devil is telling him things that, in our society, we aren't going to like very much. But he talks about um, people who become drifters, who lose the way by distraction. I think that's a really good term, to drift, because I know that feeling. When I was in school, I was always drifting. I was never in the classroom. I was always outside, flying around up there somewhere. I was so not interested in what they were teaching in school. But, I really needed to learn to come back in my body because, again, if I want to really create the life that I really want, it takes intention, it takes focus. All these things that we've been talking about this last month is what we need to bring in our focus, the point of focus, and directing your energy to that which you want. And no distractions. If you don't know what your passion is yet, if you're not living it, if you're not sure what your goal is, I always say to my clients, you don't need to know your goal, but as long as you don't know it, just keep going forward. Never straight, always forward. Just keep pushing through. And I have so many people telling me, oh, I've done so much work and I've done this and I've done that. Oh, stop it. I tell them, what a nonsense. Just keep going that extra mile. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And I love that you brought up distraction and focus, because it does take us out of our body. So Amy, tell us about that. How, and your talk is it's named here, Merlin's under my mouse here. Your talk is embodied motivation. Let your values, vision, and passion lead the way. How can that embodied motivation keep us from getting distracted and help us stay in our body?
Yes, I love this. The positive mindset. You can't forget the body. The body is, people are trying to fix problems with the mind. Okay. It's just like, and you end up looping, searching outside. You have to go inside. You have to reflect on the inside. And the thing about it is, sometimes I wake up having like an anxiety and fear. This is how I open my eyes, right? And I feel it in my body. Now, many of us wake up that way and keep going. The trick to really creating a positive mindset is in that moment, you go inside and you shift your energy. You get out of the fear and anxiety. You go into your body. You breathe, you shift and bring maybe peace, blue of peace into your body. As you let that energy clear that anxiety and fear, and you can shift it. You can shift just like that and start moving forward, start taking steps forward in a different energy, because we are the creators of our own life. So this is our responsibility, by the way. This is our responsibility to figure things out when things aren't working. Hire one of us, do some readings, do some movement. This is all of our responsibility to go inward. When we go inward, we can shift not only our body, but our mind. But if you're trying to shift your mind without the body, you're going to keep going up against the roadblocks that we find of fear, anxiety, not taking steps, not writing that book, not creating that painting, not writing that play, whatever it is you want to do. That is mainly, I believe, a body issue.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And when you start practicing it, you realize you have this, oh, I want to go do this. I want to go to the beach. You have these thoughts and minds, and then all of a sudden your body's like, I'm just going to stay on the couch. You haven't enrolled your body in going to the beach, right? So we kind of have to enroll our body into the next step. So positive mindset to me is great, but it's not without the body.
It totally is an embodied thing. And you'll hear that a lot from us, because we're not just going to talk about mindset. We're not just going to talk about the body. or the energy. It's the whole thing. That's prosperity. That's abundance. That's what's available to us. It's everything that we are. Linda, your talk is breaking free from imposter syndrome. How did this topic, going the extra mile and fostering a positive mental attitude, help you break free from that imposter syndrome?
If you have the belief that you're not good enough in any way, and somehow you don't know enough yet, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, or they're going to find out any minute you don't really know what you're doing, that conditioning is running everything that you do. And I think one mistake that people make when we talk about positive mental attitude is they think they have to force it. It's like, it must be positive at all costs. So if I have a negative thought, I have to stop that negative thought, and now I have to think positive. So I'll say positive affirmations, and I'll do everything I can to be positive. But unless you deal with, okay, I have the belief of I'm not good enough, and this is how it's showing up for me in this moment. I'm afraid to speak up in this meeting, or I feel sick when I have to stand on stage in front of a group of people, or I feel that I'm not good enough to be writing my book, or whatever it is. You need to look at those thoughts that are coming up, those emotions that are coming up. Like Amy said, the body is telling you something. So it's not about forcing that down and forcing yourself to be positive. That's information. Your body is giving you information. And if you allow yourself to go into that and, oh, this is the belief that I'm not good enough showing up again, right? And just really understanding it, that's when you're able to let it go. And the positive mental attitude comes as a natural result of that, because you start to see this conditioning for the lie that it is. There's no way that you're not good enough. There's no way that you are an imposter, right? It's that your conditioning makes you believe that, and it will keep your mind from the fact that how successful you can be at all costs. And so your job is to notice when that's happening, to pay attention to how you feel, to pay attention to the thoughts that you're thinking, and then work through those and just know where they're coming from. And then you come out on the other side of it, and always knowing that you can do that no matter what comes up. That will bring you naturally to a positive mental attitude, because you know then that nothing can hold you back. You have the tools to be able to work through it.
I love it. I love it. These conversations, I have to write down things on sticky notes because I get ideas while you guys are talking. Maybe you're doing that too in the audience. I highly encourage it. Take notes. Michelle Marie, feeling called to your next level. Cool. Does your body agree? Talk more about that.
Yes, it's everything that we've been saying. So I love to do this in spiritual communities. I love to drop like the embodiment truth bomb, which is we can only spend so much time up here, right? Like we live here. And so how do we bring that here? How do we recognize when we're out here, right? How do we keep coming back? And the talk that I gave, like the basic idea is we have to get really good at pendulation. We have to get really good at, oh, there's a feeling. Oh, I just got whammied. Oh, I have a thought about myself, whatever that is. And then take that moment and come back to and practice that reminder of who I really am and how that actually feels in my body. We all know that feeling of like that peak experience, right? Where I'm in flow. I am me to the nth degree. And then I lose it. I lose myself. I get caught up in somebody's drama. I, get activated, whatever it is, pulls me off. And so the practice becomes, how do I keep practicing coming back home and taking that breath and settling back in and reminding myself that I have access to this too. Even when I'm scared, even when something pulls me off of my focus, even when, whatever it might be. So it's the embodiment piece to me is kind of like the remembering of a different kind of spirituality, that earth body connection that is in tandem with the spirituality that feels expansive and up here. And we are the bridge between the two. And how do we keep coming back right? Over and over again. And the other thing I wanted to say is, there's a lot of fear. I think a lot, especially for high performers, a lot of fear of doing the deep work. Like, oh, we're going to open a can of worms and all of the shit's going to come spilling out and I'm not going to be able to put the lid back on and, all of the things. And that's why the pendulation is so important, right? Like, I've been a trauma specialist for almost 20 years and there's a lot of laughter that happens in this room because we have to have that balance to the hard stuff, to the stuff that feels icky or whatever. We've got to laugh. We've got to not take ourselves so seriously. We got to play. We got to, make funny faces and movements and shake that all loose so that it can then settle. And that's where the integration, can really happen.
Some of my biggest, hilarious laugh attacks have been when somebody's telling me, it's usually my husband, it really pisses him off, where he's telling me about a drama that's happened at work and all that kind of stuff. I just start laughing. And he's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, because it's funny. Like, it's so funny that it pulls you out of yourself, right? Like, it's just so funny sometimes that we take things so personally. We assume so much. Like, we get pulled out of ourselves when really it's all about being inside of yourself. Like, you're so much more powerful when you're inside your body.
Yeah.
And your essence and your soul.
Amy just did this. And that to me is like the integration moment is when we go, I knew this up here, but now I know it here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we can know we're great people, but until the rest of us is on board with that same sentence, you're not really going to believe it or be leading from there.
Yeah. And that's the biggest reason to work with a mentor or a coach. And it's not about you like always having to like make an impact in the world. It's about making an impact in your life, about your life. You're first. When everybody takes responsibility, I think Amy mentioned this earlier, when we take responsibility for our lives, that alone helps everyone else take responsibility for their lives. Like, lead by example. Mary Beth, tell us about, your talk is Sacred CEO Space, design your home office and daily flow to fuel your next level of wealth. I even noticed like you're even working like from Hawaii, like you're helping people travel and create home office spaces too. Like, that's going the extra mile, is it not? Like, that's one step further.
Yes, it is. I think most people that become entrepreneurs, they want freedom. And freedom boils down to time, finances, and location. And so what I hear from all the women entrepreneurs that I've worked with over the years is that they want some variation of that. And I know that having location freedom can provide a whole new sense of awareness that you may not have had before when you were just working from your standard home space. I am a dual citizen of US and Canada, and I've been in Canada for 19 years in Vancouver. And I have found that all my family is still in the States. So I go back several times a year, and I don't just want to go for a long weekend or a rushed trip, because just as I love this conversation about being outside of the body, outside of the brain, and really coming back into it, because with those relationships and those connections, it's really important for me to slow down and to be present and to be there. I have a 3 and 4-year-old niece and nephew that are just like the cutest things ever in my mind. But I don't want to be that weird aunt that lives in Canada, that they may see maybe once a year or once every few years. I want to be an integral part of their lives. And I know from a very young age, that means I have to be present. I have to be there. I need to be well known to them and become a person of support and trust. So location freedom allows me to do that. And then, yes, going anywhere in the world. Why not? If we have our own businesses, if we are working from our own spaces and our clients are all online, why not go? I'm going to Bali for a month. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. Why not go somewhere and set up shop? Like the amount of insight and connection and inspiration that happens when we are in a different location is just amazing. And the connections that you could make as well. Like in Bali, for example, I'm planning to go to, they have these like wellness clubs essentially for professionals. And so it has co-working space, it has a gym, it has a spa, and it's a place to connect, a pool, everything. So you get to go and connect with these other professionals that are also working remotely, working wherever they want. So I find that the location freedom, there's so many different ways that we can do it. There's so many different purposes, and it can take your mindset, your business to a whole different level.
Love that you're sharing that. And, going the extra mile for yourself, putting yourself in different locations. I have lots of travel planned for as well. But I believe like every time I enter into a new community or a new opportunity for an event like this, even, you're going to end up in rooms with people you've never met before. These live streams have connected 33 people that did not maybe know each other before. And now there's a deeper relationship happening here. There's a deeper connection, and it's all happened online. And then so you have that same opportunity to come into this world and connect with more people. I've met clients at going to group coaching events or retreats. I've met clients paying for my own coaching, like that's the thing is when you step out of your comfort zone, not out of your body, stay in your body, step out of your comfort zone though. And it might be comfortable to be up in your mind, floating around and drifting, right? And being in distraction. You might be totally comfortable with that. But is it effective for how you want to show up in your life? Is it serving the people you want to build relationships with to not be present? These are the gifts, the talents, the modalities, the tools that all of these speakers have, all of us have in some way, shape, or form. This Activate Your Prosperous Life Summit is a portal for transformation. It is an activator for your next step. And I'm so grateful that I got the inspiration to create it. And guess what? Tomorrow, the last live stream, the topic dropped in while we were talking. You are the one you've been waiting for. You are. So we're going to end the live stream series on that topic. And so thank you so much for coming to the speakers today. I'll see whoever's coming tomorrow. And thank you for watching live. Please share this with all your other your friends. Share this in your post. Tell them that you have been loving these live streams and to go back to other ones and get some commenting going, and we'll come in and reply with you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.